welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be reviewing the, this is quite an interesting find. So my son I've been reading emails all day today, but my son had showed me that his favorite band came out with a cosmetics line. I was like, what? I've heard of like collaborations, but a whole cosmetics line is called Pretty Evil Cosmetics. Now, I like that this is something that's different in the makeup industry, because I feel like the makeup industry is becoming very dull. Like, I feel like everyone's copying each other, everyone's doing the same thing. Someone comes out with a lip oil and like 5 million other brands come out with a lip oil. This is something that kind of, I feel, goes back to that old like collector type of mentality of cosmetics. Now, these are not vegan, these are cruelty free, so they don't test on animals. So that's something, if you're into, I would recommend. Here it is. Here's the symbol. This is the Ice Nine Kills Pretty Evil Cosmetics makeup line. So if you don't know who Ice Nine Kills, they are I would say they're a horror themed metal band. So something that I feel like piqued my interest after my son got into it a little bit more. I feel like my son, he really loves this band. He absolutely loves them. He's met them once. So I feel like this is totally up his alley. He sent it to me via text and said, hey, look, Mama, they came out with a brand. Okay, I was like, all right, I'm intrigued. I checked out their commercial. It sold me. I was just like, this is very unique. And I feel like this commercial is just so different from many cosmetic lines. It is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if I can link it in there, I will link it in this video so that you can check it out. And I'll also link the entire, like their whole channel in the description down below so that you guys can check them out and check out their music. So again, they are horror themed. I believe they're based out of California. This company is. These guys are an American band. I have seen them in concert when I took my son. My niece had bought him and her some VIP tickets. Unfortunately, they were late, so the VIP experience kind of got pushed back and they had to rush because the show and the venue wouldn't quite work with them. It was interesting. Okay, so when I watched, I didn't know the other bands before, but when I watched their show, it was actually very interesting. And this is coming from someone that's very hardcore about her music, someone that is very, I would say, stubborn about her music. I only like folk metal, pirate metal, heavy metal. I like thrash metal now. I feel like that's been something that I'm like, me and my husband go to a lot of shows. We've been on the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise ship. We love Windrose, Ailstorm. We love, my favorite band is Hammerfall, which is a power metal band. And then my second favorite is Elven King. It's for folk metal, more pagan metal. And then my third favorite is Lords of the Trident, which is very power metal. And then I range and go to Lord of the Lost, which is goth industrial, which I absolutely love their new song. If you haven't checked it out, it's really good. It's called My Sanctuary. Check it out. Like, go through Napalm Records YouTube, which I'll link down below as well, and check it out. So anyways, I like different metal. I like folk metal. I like power metal. I listen to, it ranges from Unleash the Archers. I got all my stuff on my wall. Unleash the Archers, Delane, Hammerfall, Xandria. Elaine is one of my favorite ones too. Of course, Elven King is my all-time favorite. Well, with Hammerfall. I actually discovered a new band. Fellowship is really cool. There's a lot of cool bands out there, a lot of cool bands. And so this is a different genre for me. This is a horror metal band. So I really do appreciate the horror metal. That's something that my niece and my son are really into. So I really did enjoy their show because every song, they have a Scream song, they have a Jaws song. My son told me that they did a book album where they sang about Dracula and Romeo and Juliet. So and then they have like Silence of the Lambs. Their newest one was Terrifier 3, the Terrifier song. I did not see that one. That's too bloody for me, but that's something that's really fun. They've got an It one. They've got Michael Myers. They've got, my favorite one is American Nightmare, I think it's called. That one is a fun song. I really do enjoy it. They have one from Saw called The Jig Is Up. It's kind of funny. I feel like there's a lot of catchy, very creative ways of songs. So the fact that they came out with a makeup line actually surprised me because I felt like they don't go together. But then I remembered what my niece and my son have told me that he, you know, they do a lot of like special effects type and makeup looks in their videos. I feel like maybe he wanted to create something that's a little bit more for that horror fan, for that Ice Nine fan. Because there's a lot of girls that are like kind of goth or, you know, whatever, that like this style. Maybe that's what they were going for. I can't be certain. I just was sent this brand and I bought it to try it out. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna show what it looks like. And I currently just purchased the liquid lipstick in Bloodstain and the palette just to try it out. So we're gonna try the palette on. We're going to swatch the colors. I'm going to let you know what I think about the quality. And yeah, even so, I feel like we should talk about the shipping. So I ordered this last week when I was sick. So I guess it was last week I was sick. My son showed me this and I was like, all right, I'll check it out. I ordered it. It took about, I would say, 3 to 4 days to process. And then it said pre-shipment for about a day and a half. And then before I knew it, it was shipped out of California. And before I knew it, it was in Albuquerque. And then all of a sudden, it was out for delivery. So I would say shipping time, about a week, which is not bad, considering you have to process these orders and you have to do all that stuff behind the scenes, and then they have to send it out. And this is a brand new cosmetic line, so I'm sure there's a lot of logistics they have to consider. I would say I'm very happy with the shipping time, and it came beautifully packaged. My palette was wrapped in this with a sticker on it. The liquid lipstick was put in there, and it was very neatly packed with this tissue paper, bubble wrap. So I would say the packaging and shipping was pretty good. So I will give it props to that. Total time, I'd say it was pretty decent. Standard for any kind of cosmetic line. So a week, I feel like, is pretty fast. If you ship really, really fast, you got to take more care into shipping. I feel like a week is a good amount of time. And the price points were pretty decent. I feel like the palette was $42. That was the most expensive thing on their site. The liquid lipsticks were $16. And I think the pomade was $20, if I'm not mistaken. And there's an eyeliner on there that's also $16. So the prices are actually very affordable. And yeah, I will go through the swatches. I will show you what the palette looks like. I will show you what the liquid lipstick looks like. We'll swatch those. Again, we'll try it on because I feel like all of it is in how you apply it. And you can already see I tried it on, so you got to see the process. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so here is the box. It actually comes with a right side up cross and an upside down cross. And it's black, which I like. Inside immediately, and I'm actually gonna give this Probably my son. This has the lead singer's autograph on there. So my son is a huge fan. So this is going to be his. On the back, it says Pretty Evil. What does it say on it? It says my cute homicidal crossed out humblest gratitude to you, among the first to embrace pretty evil. So I'm going to be tagging this on Instagram, but I think their marketing is so freaking awesome. Actually, this is why I bought it. My son was like, you need to buy it. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I like their songs. I'm not a huge, like my son. Like, I'm not like my son or my niece. They're huge fans. But I really do like their music. It's not bad. But I think their marketing is excellent. So it comes with a card, of course. Again, the signature is going to my son. And then you have black wrapping, which I enjoy. And then voila. I ordered just the lipstick in Bloodstained liquid lipstick. So this is the liquid lipstick. And then the palette comes wrapped. And it has that sticker, the upside down cross, and the right side up cross. Here is the palette. So it says, welcome to Horrorwood. And I had seen, my son's a huge expert on all this stuff. So, but this is, I guess, one of their albums. It says Pretty Evil and Ice 9 Kills. And then, of course, it has on the back the 9, I guess. What is this? Yeah, it's a 9. And then it'll tell you the ingredients on there, which are very hard to read from my old eyes, but I will read them nonetheless. It's the eyeshadow palette. I'm a sucker for eyeshadows, so I had to have the palette. Pretty cool. So it says Pretty Evil, of course, on the back. And on the front it says Welcome to Horrorwood. And then it says Ink, which means Ice 9 Kills. And then, of course, I love their little rated thing. It's got the 9 there, and then it says Psychos Only. That is cute. Like, I'm telling you, their marketing is just phenomenal. And then inside, when you open it up, you see again the Pretty Evil Ice 9 Kills. And then it says, are you more bad than good? Right there. And of course, that symbol again. And here are the colors to the palette. It's a color story I'm not used to because I've been out of the palette game for a little bit. I've reduced my size of palettes, and this is something that I typically wouldn't gravitate towards, but this is going to be fun to actually experiment with some different color stories. So you have, the first shade is Broken Bones, Dust to Dust, the gold is Horrorwood, a gray mistake. That, I'm telling you, the marketing and the naming, they put some thought into this. Caution Tape, which is the color of Caution Tape. Coffin, which is that's a nice crease shade. Silver Scream, which is, I think, one of their albums. So that's cute. It's a silver. It's almost like a silver with a hint of warm to it. Blunt Force, which is a black. Chianti from Silence of the Lambs. I do love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. My son finally watched it, and he gets the whole thing now. But it's a very suspenseful thriller, and I think Anthony Hopkins does a great job as Hannibal Lecter. He's just, if you don't know the line, it's some fava beans and in a nice Chianti, and he does that noise. So he ate someone and he had it with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Anyways, Bloodlust is this kind of like pinky red. Love Bites is an orange. Room 237, I believe that's from that has to be from The Shining. Axe to Grind, Wood Chipper, and then the last one is Rigor Mortis. I'm sorry, but these are just excellent names. So, and then the color that I got for lipstick is going to be Bloodstain, which I have a lot of bright, typical reds for my liquid lipsticks. This one was very unique to me. To me, it looks like dried blood. So there it is right there. Beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna swatch everything. So let's go ahead and break out that palette once more. We're gonna start from here, work our way across, and then work our way across, work our way across. So the first shade, oh, off the bat, that feels really creamy. No primer on my arm. This is Broken Bones. So that is a beautiful kind of like bone gray. Then you have Dust to Dust, which, oh wow, that comes out cooler than I thought it would, but that's actually pretty nice. I feel like this would be a great shade to do some like a Lydia Dietz eye. That is like I have sunken in eyes and I look like death type of shade. I really like that one. Horrorwood, which is a gold. Holy crap. That's pretty nice. It's a nice yellow gold. A Gray Mistake. These are creamy. And again, the palette is $42. The liquid lipstick is $16. So the price point is pretty decent. So there's A Gray Mistake. Caution Tape, which yellows are very hard to do. That's not too shabby. And like I said, this is going to be my honest opinion on everything because I feel like I use a lot of products. I know my product pretty well, and that's not a bad yellow. That's not a bad yellow. A little chalky, but not bad. Coffin, which is that really nice kind of medium brown shade. They do have a lot of kick. So as I'm swatching, you can see a piece of that kind of just flaked off, but that's okay. It's all in the performance, not necessarily the swatches. Silver Scream. This is like a nice, almost like platinum. That's what it is. A platinum silver. That's what it is. Blunt Force. Ooh, that black feels creamy, and that is a nice black. Not bad. That black is good. Really nice. All right. Nice Chianti. Chianti. Is it nice Chianti or Chianti? That is beautiful. It's like a very kind of like rusty red. And it's metallic too. Not super metallic where it's annoying. Because I know there's some that super metallic is really nice. But I've been kind of liking some subtle metallics as well. Bloodlust, which is that pinky red. See? Now this isn't my favorite red. It does match my shirt though very well. But I do like that. It's nice. Reds, I don't expect to really, especially is this vegan? It's cruelty free, so it's not vegan. Usually if products are vegan, they use red dye, but this does have mica in it, so if you don't like mica, then don't use. It does have dimethyl. Oh, I can't read that. It's very hard to read, and I am very bad at reading small letters with my age. Anyways, let's continue with swatches. Love Bites, and I kind of like this. It's like a pumpkin orange. Oh, that is gorgeous. I like that color. Pumpkin orange. So most of these are mattes. Room 237, which looks like a metallic green. That is nice. I like that green. All right, clean off my fingers here. Axe to Grind really has me. It's a sparkly, that sparkle's nice. I like that it transfers. A lot of them have overspray, but no, that one actually transfers. And then Wood Chipper, which is a nice kind of like woody brown, dark brown. Nice. Rigor Mortis. Now, I don't understand the purple in the palette. I really don't. But I think they were trying to go for a color story that kind of nodded to the literal shade, you know? So there it is. That's a pretty nice purple. It's a bluish purple. Not the best swatch, but again, swatches don't really tell me if it's going to perform correctly. I feel like it's all in what we're doing with the eyes. So let's go ahead and get to the eyes. I feel like this palette is promising. Let's get all that stuff off. All right, we're priming with this. This is a discontinued cosmetic line, Colored Rain, but I really wanted a nice base. This is a white base, and I have not used a white base in quite some time, so we're gonna go ahead and apply. This is going back to my roots, I'm sure. Of course, my application could be better. I do like this one because it does kind of, it's not like white, but it's light enough to where it can really bring out that color. And this is a Glam Light brush. I think I got it in that palette. What is it? The painter one? The painting one that had the rainbow shades? I think it came with that. I miss those ones. I'm kind of tired of the collaborations. I really would like to see Glam Light do food again. But yeah, all right. So we have a nice base on. I'm going to set the base, I feel like, with Broken Bones. So we'll set that base with Broken Bones because I feel like it's similar. I really want to see how these colors perform. I'm gonna set one eye because I'll work one eye at a time. I've noticed that in my age, I am starting to get a little bit more creasing happening, so that's why I'm setting my base again. I used to do that a long time ago, and now I need to do it again. All right, we're gonna continue. We're gonna do one eye at a time. I'm gonna do one eye off camera, 1, 5. All right, so we're gonna do the crease. I think dust to dust would be a nice way to start. We're gonna just pop that into, and I'm trying to hold my brushes a lot better, more of like a, I learned this from Nikki LaRose. She's actually very knowledgeable because she's been a makeup artist for 17 years. I feel like people that have been in the industry for that long know makeup very well. My best friend has also been in the industry that long, and I mean, I trust her judgment when it comes to makeup. Coffin, let's warm it up. I'm not sure where to take my eye, but I feel like we are going to take it wherever we want. I want to use as much of this palette as I can. So we're just back and forth with Coffin to warm it up. Then we're going to take this more denser fluffy brush. This is from, I have no idea, Alana Badro. This is BoxyCharm, by the way. This is Alamar Cosmetics. This one I got in a BoxyCharm. Not sure. I really want to use that black. So we're going to dip into the black. So it's Blunt Force. And we're going to just put him right there. And with this method, I find the blending is much more easy to do and control. Now, I like a black that you can build. Intense blacks can be a little too much for my taste because then you have to dial it down, and it's hard to dial it down. So I like a black that you can build. This blends out beautifully. Let's go back into Coffin. Just to blend out that edge there. Again, don't worry about getting messy at the edge. All right, I feel like we really have to step this up. Like really step this up. I think I'm going to do, because this is pretty standard for my taste. I feel like we're gonna do some cut creases in here. We're gonna do some, maybe some color incorporated there. This is gonna be a practice for me because I need to do it. Let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to take room 237. And we are going to just put this in the middle there. Oh, that does perform pretty well. This is something I would wear to work. let's step it up a notch. Let's go ahead and get that base out. I feel like we need to really focus on doing a cut crease. So I'm just going to take the base and we're going to cut the crease very slightly. Because, you know, with my eyes, they don't do what they used to do, so I cannot do super crazy, but I can do semi-crazy, you know? Oh, I kind of want to do that. Ooh, I like that. Okay, we're just playing here. That's nice. All right. I feel like we're gonna do horror wood. Right there. And then we're gonna take room 237. Go over and then just kind of blend them together. Now we're going to take Blunt Force and we're going to fluff this into the green. And don't worry, I'm going to add a lot more stuff here. Right now I'm just kind of figuring out what exactly I want to do. And I'm actually going to take Blunt Force a little out more. And then let's go into Coffin and take this one out a little more. And then we'll take Dust to Dust over top to blend this out. And then Broken Bones in the crease. In the brow bone, sorry. Okay. You're gonna see that it looks a little bit bland, at least for my taste, but I'm gonna jazz it up. So we're gonna take a makeup wipe. We're gonna clean this up. Just like that. Make a little bit of a point there. And then I'm gonna hop off, do the other eye, and then do the concealer, and then we'll go back in. All right, so I have my base on, and I'm going to go ahead. To be honest with you, I wanna try the palette as blush and contour, because why not? And you know I have a small brush here somewhere. All right, I really want to try Dust to Dust as a contour. Ooh, does pretty well as a contour. All right, I'm liking that. I do want to take some on my nose. I feel like this palette would be very beneficial to some special effects or like looks that I do. It's actually pretty nice. It's a pretty nice, that is a nice contour color. I'm gonna use Coffin as a bronzer. Okay, bronzer wise, pretty decent. Sorry, you could probably hear some kids screaming down the street. It's actually a very, very nice bronzer. All right, so I'm gonna do something now. I'm gonna use Love Bites as a blush. When you use eyeshadow as blushes or anything, you want to really start small and really focus on blending. Because I do this sometimes. I'll use to just kind of marry everything together, I'll use a shadow as a blush, but you're gonna have to spend some time blending. See how choppy that is? It's not too bad. All right, I'm gonna use a little bit more of Coffin to really bring some warmth. Nice. All right, so if you feel like it's a little much, you can always go back into your powder. I honestly like this. It's very old school me. We're just gonna blend everything with that powder to diffuse it a little more. And then powder on the nose there. Perfect. All right, we are actually going to use Silver Scream. Oh, maybe not. It won't work as a highlight. It's a little too dark. It's okay, that's okay. I'm just gonna keep moving on. As you can see, it's not quite there. All right, so instead, because there's no lighter shade in there, I kind of wish there was a lighter shade, but we're just gonna go ahead and go with it. We're going to fill in the white pieces there with Silver Scream. And it does come out a little bit brighter. All right, so now we're gonna do the lower lash line. We're gonna go in with, I feel like I'm gonna do, I really wanna use this one. This one is Axe to Grind. The beautiful sparkly one. It's gonna look black though under my eyes, I feel. It's a little sparkly, but it's not super sparkly, so it doesn't translate as sparkly as I'd like it to. There's some fallout there. And we're gonna go ahead and blend it out with, ooh, a Gray Mistake, which is a matte. Now these do have some kick to it. If you don't mind the kick. They do end up a little bit like messy, so I would do my base first, but this is the lower lash line, so we're gonna have that. Actually, Silver Scream wasn't so bad as a highlight. I mean, it looks a little dark, but adds a little something. All right, so for inner corner, I'm gonna clean off my brush here, or like this part. I'm gonna use Chianti. I want to add something, like a pop of red there, I feel. There is quite a bit of fallout, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it. Blend these two together. All right, so as I said, there is some fallout. All right, I really want to add more oomph to it, so I'm actually gonna add my base there. And I feel like I want to add it above, just kind of mapping it out. So is actually coming out pretty well. So I'm just gonna add more of my base. We're gonna just go with it. Yeah. I have not had this much fun with a palette in a while. So thank you, Ice9, for making the advertisement hilarious and making this palette, even though it doesn't look like it's gonna be like life-changing type of, you know, like the typical, I feel like in the beauty industry, the typical one that normally a lot of people scramble for. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be typical. You want to be different, and I love that this is different. And I have not done a decent, to be honest, a decent eyeshadow look in a long time. So this really inspired me to step out of a comfort box of mine. All right, we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna actually add this guy here. This is Rigor Mortis. And we're gonna use this up here, because why the hell not? I want something different. I kind of want to fade it. Ooh, let's do that. I have not felt this excited. Let's take caution tape, which is that yellow matte, and we're gonna add that one there. And we're gonna blend those two. Oh, that's fun. That is fun. All right, what shade haven't we not used? We haven't used Wood Chipper. Ooh, let's see. Let's go Bloodlust. We haven't used that one. And we're gonna use Bloodlust here. I do like that. It's fun. It's different. And I kind of like the white, but I kind of like the color too. I just wish there was a brighter shade. It's okay. We're actually going to take Wood Chipper and add it on the lash line. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna finish my eyes off camera, put the mascara and all that jazz on, and then we're gonna do the lipstick. All right, so we have that. I only just added mascara. I really just didn't want to take away from those colors, but it's pretty good. All right, so we've cleaned the lips off. We're gonna go ahead and, I feel like this does match very well. This is Bloodstain. Oh, it does smell like vanilla. Oh, it's like a brown red. Oh, okay. I'm not putting lip liner on. I just want to put it straight on. Ah. The one swipe and done. Okay, you get a lot just from dipping in once. That's pretty nice. All right, so here's the overall look. I did have to thin out my liquid lipstick because it was a little bit sticky because I put too many layers on. So be mindful. Prep your lips first with some what do you call it? I use Carmex as my lip mask or lip balm, and then just wipe off the excess, and then you can go back on it. I know it looks like it's a little patchy. That's because I have drier lips than I used to. But let's talk about the palette. This was fun. I will say that this is something I don't normally go for in my everyday makeup anymore. If you've noticed on my channel, I've been pretty plain, except for when I do my special effects type makeups, where I'm a little bit more fun, I guess you can say. This actually is something I would probably be a little afraid to use, just because it's all a little bit like just a color story that doesn't, I guess in my mind and what I'm used to, doesn't make sense to me. But as you use it, I feel like it does make more sense. I feel like you have some good typical colors. These are meant for, like, I feel like you can do a lot of like special effects and shadowing. Like the contour came out really nice. The shadowing was really nice. So I feel like Dust to Dust is definitely going to be a nice contour shade for a light to medium complexion. Coffin worked as a really good bronzer for a light to medium complexion. I feel like Wood Chipper would work for more darker complexions. It's a brown, but it would work as a good contour for darker complexions, maybe like tan. I feel like the colors are unique, different, something that I would typically shy away from, like I said, because I'm like, all right, so the color story to me is a little bit discombobulated in my brain, but that's just the way I think. But the way I'm looking at it, it's more or less, it's got a very like Mortician vibe to it. It's very like somber. It's got some bright colors, but they're not too bright. I feel like with a right base, you can really make them pop. I really feel like Rigor Mortis is going to be that color that if you wanted to add some purple to your look, it is a very nice kind of like grimacy purple. I feel like it would blend very well with the gold and make kind of like a fun, colorful look. I do love Chianti. It's really, really pretty. It's something, probably my favorite color out of all of them, because it is a rusty, kind of like dried blood type of metallic red, like a rusty red. The Bloodlust is a little bit more of a muted red, which is nice. I know that those bold reds can be very hard to work with, but these are not bad. I will say, the silver I wish was a little bit brighter. The what is it, Silver Scream? I wish it was a little brighter. I do love this shade here. That is the green. That one is Room 237. I do really like the sparkly black. Like, this is something that I just wouldn't pick up if I saw it in a store or online, but I wanted to really try this, and I'm glad I did, because look at this fun look. I have not done something so fun in so long. I will say this really inspired me to do a fun look. Finally, like, I feel like I've been on a dry spell when it comes to my eyeshadow and my looks, and this really inspired me. So I want to say thank you to Ice Nine Spencer for actually making a palette that really pulled that artist in me and really made me try something different and something I'm not used to. Now I feel really confident about this eye look. I love it with the lip. It works. This is, I feel like, not for the easy makeup user. This is going to be a little bit tougher. So if you're not medium, intermediate to advanced makeup artist, I feel, or makeup user, where I feel like this one's going to be just a little bit scary for you. I was scared at first because I hadn't done a makeup like this in so long. That is why I got scared about it. So yeah, I really think this palette is for a little bit of someone more that wants to do a fun, this is very like horror looking, very Halloween looking. So it really did bring me back to life when it came to, even though this palette's like circled around death, it really brought that artist out in me that I never thought was in there again. I had kind of lost my passion for doing unique, different makeup, and this really brought it back. And the fact that I used Dust to Dust and Coffin as a bronzer and contour really tells you that this palette is pretty versatile. Now I'm just adding a little more because I feel like I want to be like a little more colorful, but Love Bites is actually really nice as a blush. Like, it's so nice as a blush. I never thought to use it as a blush, but something so orange, you're like, ooh, no. But no, it came out really nice. So if you like that intense kind of look, I feel like it can really do wonders for you. The liquid lipstick, like I said, doesn't kiss off. It stays on because it took me a minute to get it off and redo it because I put too many layers on and it kind of got sticky. This is a beautiful color, something I don't have. I kind of want the other red one. They have a red, and then they have a black, and they have, I think, an eyeliner, and then they have a pomade for your hair that I guess Spencer uses. Again, if you don't know who that is, he's the lead singer. My niece and son have really pound that in my head who he is. Like I said, I'm not like the ultimate Ice 9 fan. My son and my niece are. So this was, like I said, this grabbed me from the ad. I will link that video below. That ad is amazing and so smart. Like, I have never thought to, like, any brand they should advertise that way. They really should. It was very brilliant, and it made me want to buy the entire collection, but I just said, you know what, I'm going to try the palette, and then I'm going to try the liquid lipstick first and see if I want to grab another liquid lipstick or the eyeliner. The pomade I feel like is good for, like, I feel like I would use it if I wear my hair back, but I don't necessarily need it, but it's really cool. It's like Devil's Pomade, something like that, but it's really cool. So anyways, if this palette doesn't seem your taste, honestly, give it a shot. It's not so bad. It's actually, it created this fun look, and it's very like horror. I feel like very, it has a homage to a lot of the films that they sing about, like the Room 237. You've got, I think that was The Shining. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll verify with my son. It's got their albums, Horrorwood and Silver Scream. Chanty from Silence of the Lambs, which is really, really, I feel like that's so adorable. Axe to Grind, you know, you could probably nod to maybe could be American Psycho, could be, because he uses an axe, but I would say this is more like that killer. You know, I'm not a huge, like, I have gotten into horror films because of my son, but like not super like, oh my God, I love this horror film. But like, I love the passion. I've seen them live. They really put on a good show, and my son loves them. My niece loves them. It's something that my son really likes. He loves horror movies. He wants to be like making the props and all that stuff for movies and stuff. So I feel like this is something that he really loves, and he's been making Jason costumes. So they're really cool. I feel like they're very fun, and he makes them from like clothes, and then he does the masks and everything. He'll buy just a cheapy mask online, and then he makes it his own. So I think that's really cool that horror movies have such an artist vibe to it. It's got, you appreciate how much work goes into making a horror movie. I feel like there's a lot of art involved, so it takes a very artistic mind to make something like that. So that's something I can really like appreciate and support. So yeah. Oh, I didn't read the top. So on the mirror it says, "Are you misunderstood? Are you more bad than good?" I don't know if that's from a song, but that's pretty cool. As you can tell, my genre of music is a little bit more like folk metal, pirate metal. But these guys are fun to listen to. I would say my favorite song that I've heard from, I do like the American Psycho one, and I do like the Freddy Krueger one. That one's really fun, but my son really likes the Terrifier one, but his favorite songs like the It one, the Terrifier one. I like that they're not literal about the songs. They have a nod to the actual like horror movie that they're referencing. Like the Jaws one is really cute. It has that little donna donna in it. I will link their channel down below so you can check out their music, as well as you've got to see the advertisement for this whole line. It's really cool. So again, this is Pretty Evil Cosmetics. This is made by, I guess it's just Spencer or it's just Ice Nine. I'm not sure. Ice Nine Kills, and Spencer is the model in there. So I really feel like this is, Spencer's the lead singer, by the way. This is a very good start to a beautiful thing. I feel like this brand is something that they put a lot of love and a lot of care into. And again, this is not a sponsored video. I bought these myself so that I can review it. And yeah, I recommend these. This is, if you like horror movies, if you like this band, definitely this is something that you want to collect and also use. It's not a bad quality. It's actually a very good quality. I feel like it's a very nice eyeshadow quality. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. And yeah, hopefully, I think I might get the other red liquid lipsticks. It's very fun. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.